How's it going, Thieves fans? Today we have a very special video. We got the opportunity to sit down and talk with LA Thieves Kremp. I had a ton of fun recording this video, so I hope you all enjoy. If you aren't already, please go ahead and follow Kremp on all of his socials. I will have that linked in the description down below. And with that being said, let's get into the video. I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me today.
Of course, of course. Glad to be here.
All right, so obviously you're still a pretty young player. This is your sophomore season, and doing some research trying to find some questions to ask you. I noticed that you really haven't done a lot of interviews,
Mm.
and so some of the questions I'm going to ask to start us off are just going to be pretty basic. I really wanted to start it off with how did you get introduced to Call of Duty and like competitive Call of Duty?
Mhm. Well, when I first got into Call of Duty, it was because I had a PS3 already. I already played games like a lot. I played a lot of sports games like NBA, Madden. But then, I think it was for my birthday. Yeah, my dad or my uncle actually got me Modern Warfare 2,
Mm-hmm.
which I already played World at War in the past, but I never owned it.
Okay.
And but yeah, I just played that game, grinded the hell out that game. I was going for nukes with every gun. I was going so hard. But then, like, I just never stopped playing. I've always been like a Call of Duty at heart. Like,
Mm.
only pretty much the only other game I played other than sports games. So I just played that pretty much all the way until like BO2. I was playing every other COD, just grinding them out. Then BO2, I got into GBs, which
Okay.
was like very slow. I was like, what? Every dub team, I'd go 8-8, disband, make a new one, try to go undefeated, just go 8-8 again, never ending cycle. But I didn't start actually like going hard and like trying to compete until like AW. I started playing Money Eights. I was young, but like I had that like passion watching all the pros.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, AW was like it was so fun for me as well. But that was the game I definitely got addicted to it. I put money on the game. Like started playing for money, started playing all that stuff. But yeah, definitely I'd probably say AW I started, and then BO4 is when like that's when I was actually like going hard every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said Advanced Warfare was where things kind of kicked off a little bit. Were you a
Mhm.
big advanced movement kind of guy?
Hell yeah, hell yeah! That
Yeah.
stuff was so much fun. That was probably the best competitive game I've ever played. That game was so much fun.
It's crazy because AW was like the first advanced movement COD, obviously in general, but
Mhm.
I didn't really play that one like at all. And a lot of people
Really.
said that competitively it was a lot of fun. I ended up playing a lot of Black Ops 3 and then like none of Infinite Warfare.
Yeah. I will say one thing. Advanced Warfare was terrible for pubs. Ranked play was
Okay.
alright, but the competitive scene was so much fun. You play XPs, you can play XPs all day probably. It was so much fun, man.
Damn, man. I really missed out on that wave then. I came into
Mm.
it a little
Yeah, you
late.
did, man.
I played a couple GBs in Black Ops 3, but not too many.
Mm.
So, obviously you said, you started really kind of picking it up in Advanced Warfare. Um, would you say that's around the time that you felt like you could go pro, or do you feel like there was another time that kind of started to set into your mind?
As like a competitive kid, because I was always super competitive growing up.
Mm-hmm.
AW was definitely a game where I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go pro in COD. This is so cool, watching all these pros." But, like, I never, like, really grasped the idea of it. Like, I was just scrimming with friends, playing Twitter tournaments, played community money eights. Like, it was never, like, serious.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd probably say the game, like, I actually, like, thought I could go pro in was, like, once BO4 came around. I never grinded COD until, like, I came to that game, played with, like, the high tiers that ended up going pro, like Illy and them, came up with Capsidal. That was my duo at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think BO4 was a game where I found out like I'm pretty nice at it. Like I'm actually like start going hard and like try to like make this a career.
Mm-hmm. So my next question is, who were some players that you might have looked up to or you were inspired by when it came to competitive Call of Duty? Like, did
Mm.
anybody kind of shape your thoughts on the playstyle you wanted to replicate or anything like that?
I mean, there's people I definitely watched like initially to get me into like the real competitive scene. Like that was fun to look at. I thought they're good, really good at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like when the first person I got into watching was Fizzerp at first, rest in peace. But
Okay.
Fizzerp was like big because I was playing Ghost when I was like actually getting into watching it a lot more. And he
Mm-hmm.
was really good at S&D. S&D was huge in Ghost. And then after him, I found out about Optic, got into like watching Nade Shot.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a lot of Nade Shot, ironically.
Yeah.
Ended up watching a lot of Nade. Uh, watching all those clips, his ace on Warhawk or on Octane and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, like, I was actually, like, getting into it, trying to be good at the game. That's when I definitely like AW, I definitely started watching Scump. I mean, come on, like, Scump was the goated, but
Yeah.
I don't think, I think growing up, I never replicated my gameplay around anyone else. I kinda, like I wanted to be a Slayer, so I guess you can relate it to Scump in that sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, I definitely like to have, like, this I'm natural, like, Slayer, just, like, the type of person I was growing up, like, I just,
Mhm.
like, get kills, just be, like, the spotlight,
Yeah.
and, yeah, probably Scump if anything, but I never, like, mimic their play styles, more so, like, the perception of them, like, "Oh, he's a Slayer," like, I wanna be a better Slayer, like,
Yeah.
super competitive kid.
Yeah, I hear you. That's funny. I mean, I would have assumed, but you brought up Nate Shot. That was something that I talked to Ghosty about as well when I did the
Mhm.
interview with him. How does that feel for you now that looking back, you're playing under the LA Thieves branding, CEO Nate Shot.
Mhm. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I met Nate, I was like, not starstruck, but I was like, holy shit, that's
Yeah,
Nate. That's crazy, bro. That's just crazy. Like, it just sounded cool. Like, same thing when I got like a scum follow. Like, it just felt like, wow, like that's lit.
yeah,
Bro, like the craziest part is like when I lived with Doug. Like, I knew of Doug, like
hmm
it's like Sensor, obviously, but I never like obviously was a huge fan because like I don't know, just I was very mainstream. When I was living with Doug, I was like, bro, I'm in Sensor's crib, living with him, playing with him. Like, this is insane. Like, if I told myself that, like, what 2012, I'd be mind blown.
yeah, man, it's really crazy to think about. I mean, it must
Mm,
be an awesome feeling. I feel like it's full circle in so many regards
mm.
when you have a situation like that. So that's really cool. Another question: how did you feel when you were first brought up to the CDL? Like when you got the call saying, "Hey, you're coming to the big leagues," basically.
Okay, well, I mean, at first, I was very much expecting it because I had a lot of eyes on me.
Uh huh.
Um, I mean, I was before I got picked up, I was like, bro, I'm insane. Like, there's no way no one picks me up. I was actually supposed to be on like a pro team twice before I actually got picked up by Boston.
Okay.
One of them, they couldn't afford the buyout, which was it was Vegas at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and then they came back like after that major, and I just did even better at the major where I ended up competing in, while like they had a different player for me,
Uh huh.
and they tried getting me again with a buyout, which was like I thought it was insane. Vegas, like I didn't think they'd ever buy out anyone, so like they went to go buy me out, but then Boston said no. So like that kind of like made me upset with Boston at the time.
Mm.
But then they came back like a week or two after, actually maybe even a month after, and they put me in for Reese, and I was like, oh my god, it's about that damn time. Like at the end of the day, like I'm in this position to actually make champs now. Like
Yeah.
it was a good, like it was a better feeling for sure. It was just like, okay, now let's make it happen. Didn't go out as planned. The team didn't really work well. It was a bad dynamic for us. Yeah, I was not the. I don't think I was the player that they needed for sure because we were getting kills, no wins. Like,
Yeah.
but like it was a surreal feeling. I still did everything I could. I still went hard. It was unreal, man.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
because you were on Boston Breach Academy at that time, correct?
yeah, yeah.
So you went from their academy team straight to their starting roster. I feel
Hmm.
like that's something that like doesn't happen as much as you would think. Like
Hmm.
I feel like obviously Boston Breach Academy, there was the Ultra Academy team for a while. I don't know if they still have it or not. I don't pay too
No,
much
they don't
attention to
know.
challengers, but um, you have a there was the LAG Academy, um, all that kind of stuff. I feel like there really weren't a lot of players who would go from the academy team to the actual CDL team.
Hmm.
How do you think that affected you and like maybe the team dynamic? As you said, it wasn't the best team dynamic.
That's actually a really good question because I think when I was on Boston Breach Academy, like I learned a lot of the fundamentals from like thankfully Shawnee and obviously Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like my gameplay there was like they literally told me like just go out there and just go be a Slayer, bro. Get the kills for us. I was like I'm good as hell at that. I'm gonna keep doing it. So like I was just literally dropping bombs, no one nonstop in challenger, straight killing it. And then I got picked up and like yeah, I started like the first stage, like it was very normal. Like I was with Nero. I had a really good first stage, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or pretty good first stage for like obviously being a rookie. And then going into the next stage, we made a roster change and another roster change after that stage. And my like I could tell like with the way the coach wanted me to play was nowhere near how it was in Boston Reach Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, that makes sense. You don't want to just sit there and go get kills like in the league. It's not like it's not maintainable, but like
Yeah.
it seemed like I was striving very far away from the gameplay I actually knew. So it hindered my play style like towards the end of the year. But like I don't blame them. It's what they needed, but it was harder for me to like switch play styles and you know what I mean, like and try to
Yeah.
maintain it against the best in the game. Like if I kept just running around kill whoring, like who knows if we'd even win more, but like obviously probably not.
Yeah.
But like it definitely hindered myself like personally, like in game.
So then going back to, you being on Breach Academy team, um, how did playing for Boston Breach Academy and FaZe Black differ?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think playing with Boston Breach Academy, I think the biggest difference is like we came up out of nowhere. It was like all of our first best teams except for like Shawnee.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're all like, okay, let's the first best team, especially with Dan as well. Like we're just trying to make it work. We're learning the game together. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? No one's really teaching to us. We're learning as a team how we want to play the game, which was really good, obviously. But we weren't probably playing the game to like its best capability. We had a lot of teamwork, but we weren't manipulating the game as much as I'd probably say.
Okay.
But like man, those were my brothers though. Like we had so much chemistry on that team with every type of roster. Mainly Pentagram and Ghosty. With Beans we
Mm-hmm.
weren't that good. Uh, but with FaZe Black, I mean, shout out Mayhem, shout out all the players, Brack, Exceed, Asim, they're all insane. But I think the biggest thing is like he's a really freaking good coach. He's a really good coach. I'll tip it to
Mm-hmm.
him. He taught me like the ins and outs of like the right plays, the wrong plays, how this play impacts your teammates in the game, like the most impactful play you can make in each scenario, off each spawn, what you should do, like shit like that. What really drills in your head, like okay, like I know the play that could win us a game here. I can know the play that could win us a game here. The other like with Boss Breach Academy, we're all playing at the same pace. Like okay, let's get kills here. Okay, I know where kills to get, and I know what to
Mm-hmm.
do with those kills. But on like Mayhem taught me like what kills to get, how to get the important kills, and how to like activate myself with the kills I'm already getting. You know what I mean? Like how to make the game easier for my teammates. It was just like it was a very more correct COD with Mayhem who taught
Uh-huh.
me that on FaZe Black, as well as like everyone bought into that like that whole system. So we're just
Okay.
insane with that.
Okay. Yeah. I know when I talked to Ghosty, one of the things that I had asked him was kind of like the difference between challengers level COD and, CDL level COD. And
Yeah.
I'm curious too, would you say FaZe Black is kind of a roster, maybe because of coaching, maybe because of players, maybe both, that they are closer to the CDL level than you would say the challengers level? Or do you think there's still a pretty solid gap from, that level of a team to CDL?
What's their team now? They got Dylan Rex instead of me. They're not that good. No, I'm just fine.
Uh-huh.
No, they're good. Honestly, I'd compare them closer to a CDL level because I mean the way they play the game is always like a lot more coordinated than the other challengers teams.
Hmm.
Uh, I'll say they had spurts where maybe not, but I'll whenever I watch them play, like they have a game plan, they stick to it, and I mean, bro, it works. It's so obvious. Every single time they play, they just won the last event. Like when you
Hmm.
watch, they always are doing like they're always on the same page. They're working the same parts of the map together. They know what checkpoints they're working for. Like you can tell, like they have a game plan they're following. Like that's the closest you're gonna get to the CDL. Just having a game plan that works, consistent. Like it won them in another event. Like it's
Yeah.
proof in the pudding.
I mean, it seems like even if they're not winning, they're always like up there, It seems like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
always in the running
exactly.
for it. So they're obviously doing something right. Like,
Yeah, I'll
uh,
tip it a lot to Mayhem, but the players buy into it so well. So like it's can't have one without the other.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We talked about you being brought up to the CDL.
Mhm.
How did you feel and how did you find out that you were going to be brought up to LA Thieves?
Ooh, that's a good question. It was actually like we just because on the event I won, the Sunday was actually the grand finals on Sunday was hosted on the main stage.
Hmm.
So like it was like 10 a.m. We ended up winning it probably. It was such a fast series, probably like 11:30 to 12. Not even bullshitting. Like when it hit 2 p.m., I got a phone call like, "Do you have any options? If so, keep your options open. We might be interested." It was from the Thieves, obviously. It was from it was definitely a big one for us for me because like that was the team I wanted to go to like before the event.
Uh huh.
Like the two teams I was eyeing for because I knew I was gonna get picked up after the event because I knew we were gonna win it. Like it was actually insane confidence for me. Like I don't know why. Uh, the two teams I actually really thought was gonna go for me was Minnesota or LAT, and then the third
Okay.
one I was like maybe it would be Seattle. But when that ended up happening, like after the event, I got that phone call. I literally told them, "Oh hell yeah, I'll wait for you. Just let me know. Keep me in touch." Like This is what I want to do. I don't care if you're in last. Like, let's just win this shit. Like, sounded so much fun. Like, so much dopamine, man.
That's hella sick, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that I mean, I, how was that then? Because like you said, you had just won the event. Is there like obviously you were excited to be brought up, but is there a little bit of like knowing that you have to leave this team that you just won with? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is there any difficulty with that, or is it you were kind of just like, hey,
Yeah.
this is my shot. I gotta make the most of it.
I had a whole talk with the whole roster. I was like, damn, like we're all expected honestly we're expecting all of us to get picked up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like different teams, whatever. But considering me and like I think Asim were the first to get offers,
Mm-hmm.
it was like sad kind of. It was like, bro, like damn, our time's over, bro. Like
Yeah.
that was so quick. Like we literally first event we're already done. Like
Yeah.
that's really what it felt at the time because it was like that's all I knew since the beginning of the game. But obviously there's excitement. Everyone's happy for me. We're all happy for each other. We all know like oh, we're proud of each other. Like it was good atmosphere, but it was like kind of sad.
Yeah.
But I mean it is what it is. Like we're obviously here to get to the league. Everyone's gassing each other up. They're saying I told you so because right before the event I denied the Carolina offer. They're like, oh, like I was thinking in my head like I should took it. I should have took it right before the event. Like I could play as a pro at this event. And then they're all just, but they told me not to because like, oh, you're guaranteed another spot. So like after when the event, they're just like, I told you so. I told you so. Like it was insane.
Hey, there you go. They were
Mm-hmm.
looking out for you.
Mm-hmm.
um. So my next question is, how did you find your own personal play style, and how has it changed like throughout your time playing with different teams?
Ooh, okay. Well, hmm. I think for my playstyle, if I were to go back to like Cold War, even probably BO4, because like they're very similar. My playstyle is very like ratty, like extremely ratty. Like I love to late flank, you know what I mean? Like late hit bombs and surge, like wait till 40, let's hit this lane, just hide. Like it was so I was aged, but it was very calculated at the same time. But my playstyle now is like let's bring the game to them, let's fucking run their world, let's just chow.
Uh-huh.
Let's just like play with confidence for the team. Like I like to feed into my team's confidence, you know? That's just like the type of energy I bring to the team. It's just like straight confidence to them. So I mean, I don't know. The way I play the game now is probably like very, very aggressive
Uh-huh.
because you're not gonna win playing slow.
Yeah.
I'd probably say yeah. I just like to bring aggressiveness. I like to get one stay alive. I like to slide first. Like I like to do whatever it takes to win. If anyone's I got cold feet for going in first, I'll slide past them. I don't care. Like let's just go win this shit.
Yeah. So then was there like a specific team slash moment that kind of decision making changed in you where it was like, hey, I'm not gonna play as ratty, or I'm not gonna play as slow. I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit.
Ooh yeah, it'd be Boston Breach Academy for sure.
Boston
That's when
Breach.
they told me like because like that was a game like I was kill whoring super hard. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was kill whoring super hard, but that's what they wanted me to do. I was fucking slamming. I was dropping 40 per on Vanguard. Go to MW2, no one could kill me. And then I go to the league and like that was the last of my kill whoring and like rattiness. And then I go to the league, it's like, all right, like go out there and go chow people, like speed up the pace of your gameplay,
Yeah.
which like at the time negatively affected me. But then like I never stopped buying into that game plan. You know what I mean? Like even going to phase black after. I kept playing very aggressive because it was the most consistent way to win. So I was like, you know what I mean? I'm just keep doing it. I'm a master it because this is better. I know it's better.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, definitely like even just like with how you're talking now, like you can tell there's a lot of confidence there,
Mm,
and I feel like even when I talked to you a little bit off camera, like obviously after the last event, I know it probably wasn't the best event for the team,
mm,
but like your confidence is still there, which is I feel like huge because for me personally, like I am not great with confidence. So the fact that
mm.
you're able to like lock it down and say, man, I'm just gonna run at him, dude. Like fuck him, And
Yeah.
I noticed even like in the 0 to 100, that was something that Joe brought up as well. And personally, that's some shit that I love to see. Like just big dick him, bro. Like
Yeah,
go at
literally,
him
bro. That's like that's how it goes. You just gotta have some balls on you, bro. Just go out there and challenge.
for
I could be
real.
losing all my gunfights, but I'm not gonna stop challenging. Like I gotta keep
Hey,
challenging, bro. It's like it's the name of the game, bro.
for real, man. It's child or be child.
Yeah, literally. It's literally all it is, bro. Like we're back. We're about to win this next one. Fuck it, and like it's Burbank. I can drive there. I'm good. Like I'll be there.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that, you haven't done too many interviews, but I did find that there was an interview you did post match. I believe it was for the Thieves. And you mentioned that you're kind of like an energy guy. So I was curious as to being an energy guy. How do you respond like when the team is down, whether it be in game or kind of just like morale, momentum, like anything like that? How do you respond to stuff like that?
We talk about that a lot in practice actually. Like for our energy in scrims is like it correlates a lot to our scrim success and match success.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's visually obvious unless it's like a great team. Like oh, it's gonna be a rough scrim. It's all good, but we're going hard. But you can tell if we lose a map, the next map starts slow. It's like all right, bro. Let's pick up the fucking energy, bro. Like let's get some balls on us, bro. Like what is this? Like you know what I mean? Like that's the best way to do it because we all know like the coaches bring it up all the time. Shane and Cap, they'll be like, oh, you guys' energy is low this map. Look, you guys got fucking slammed. Like this is what happens, bro. Like keep your
Mm-hmm.
energy up, and you guys wouldn't have got slammed this map. Probably win it. I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're facts. It's facts. So if we go do like a match or even scrims, like and the energy sounds low, like in the Carolina one, it sounded low off rip, from all of us, not even, as me as well. Loaded into the second SNE, I'm like, bro, let's pick up the energy, bro. Like, you want to be here or not? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all of us know what to do. We all talk about this all day, every day. Like, it's just all about feeding into him. Like, bro, come on, bro, let's win this shit. Like, get him angry. Like, come
Yeah.
on. Like, exactly.
So with that low energy, do you feel there's kind of like certain days where you can tell going into a match that it's going to be that way, or is it something that you don't really notice until like you're kind of in a series?
In scrims, it's like how the day's escalating.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find out. But in a match, it's like, okay, well, this map started slow. Like that first crouch, oh, it started slow. You can tell everyone's energy's like a little low because it started slow. Like there's nothing like get your energy up off of.
Mm-hmm.
Slow map, just in general. So like usually it just happens naturally, I'd say. But like no one's trying to be like, you know what I mean, like low energy.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
of
what was there
course.
to get hype about? Like I'm not frying them. Like,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, like you need to have that energy all the time, no matter what. All the comms, every match, because like it gets people going. That's why like a big thing our team does is like whenever someone goes crazy, like go gas them up real quick, bro. Get them
Yeah.
going, because then I know when you're gonna fry, they're gonna gas you right back up. Like
Yeah.
just keep the energy there, bro. It's more fun when the energy's there, bro. It's just how it is. So I mean, I just keep trying to push that on people, like because we all know how it is. Like we all push on each other as well. Like just like respectfully, excuse my language. Just don't be pussies, bro. Let's go lock the fuck in. Like
Yeah. That it makes me wonder. I know because Beans for a while, I
mhm,
they people would give him a little bit of shit because he would get like a kill and he'd yell dead, and people are
yeah.
like, "You didn't do anything spectacular. Why are you yelling dead?" Do you guys ever have moments like in game where maybe it is going slow, but you know that hey, we need to ramp up the energy? I'm just gonna
Yeah.
yell a dead randomly and see if it
Yeah.
kicks anything off.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever we're loading the maps, actually, I said it in like the Boston one, the one prior to that, this last one. I was like, let's start off this map with a fucking dead. I want to hear some deads, bro. Like, come on, get loud for me, please. Like, that's how it is. I'll say last year it's a little different. He was just screaming dead. Like, I didn't even know what he was saying sometimes. He's just screaming. I fuck with it. Like, go get your kills, buddy. Like, I fuck with that.
Yeah,
But yeah, ours is a lot more calculated. It's like, oh, he got shit on. I want to hear you say his name. Like, I would say shit on dead. Like, I want to hear it.
yeah,
So like
absolutely.
yeah, usually just like when the energy ramps up off one person, everyone feeds off of it. Like if Joe screams dead, we're all feeding off it. If I scream dead, everyone's feeding off it. When Dan does, everyone's feeding off it. His is insane. His dead
Really?
sounds nuts. You can tell he's hurting his vocal cords when he throws one out.
Well, dude, shit. When you guys were playing at the last tournament, when you guys came back on NY, bro,
Mm.
he like you could tell he was in it after the
Bro,
match.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he was,
Bro, he had the longest dead after that last kill in the half wall.
yeah,
Bro, I was like, Dad! I was like, holy shit. Like, this guy's blacked out. I love that.
dude. And
I love that
then
shit, bro.
he's hitting him with the they can't fucking kill me. They can't
Yeah,
fucking
bro. I was
kill
like, yeah,
me.
oh my god, damn. I'm just sitting there screaming at him, just feeding into his just delusion. I'm just feeding into it, bro, because I know it's gonna make him play even better. Like I didn't know it's possible,
Bro,
but he will.
I swear, like when I see that stuff, I'm like, I don't know how you guys like
Mm.
can have low energy after that. Like after that,
Yeah, you
that's
can't.
so
Yeah.
electric. Like man, but that shit, that is definitely hype. I mean,
Mm.
I obviously don't hear it from a viewer's perspective, but even just seeing it, like even seeing your guys' player comms when you guys are like going nuts, it's like the coolest feeling because I'm like,
Mm.
okay, they might start heating up here, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I love that. Whenever usually when the person that screams dead's already on a heater, so you just keep gassing
Oh
them up too. Like if
yeah.
I'm screaming dead, you don't want to eat her. Just keep gassing me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not stopping, bro.
Let me cook, brother. Let me
Oh
cook.
God.
So another one of my questions I have here is I'm curious, how do you prepare, like personally, outside of scrims, to be the best player and teammate that you can be? Because obviously, I know you guys will work a lot as a team and how you guys want to work together and play off of each other. But obviously, at the end of the day, it is still yourself. And there were a lot of things that you had to do to get to this point in your career. What do you like to do in order to improve at some of those things?
uh, I'll say up until this stage, I used to always watch VOD. But this stage, I'm like watching VOD a lot more. What's the word? Like more beneficial to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll watch VOD, and be like, okay, like I'm stealing things from other players. I'm being a lot more one dimensional, like what I can do better. Versus like last stage, the stage prior, I was only watching like, oh, what can our team do better here? Like what's our issue here? What's our thing? Our thing. But at the same time, like I need to be the best player I can be, and I need to trust that they'll be the best player they can be.
Mm-hmm.
So, as of recently, like I've just been watching a shit ton of VOD, watching like myself, watching FaZe, for example, every team like, oh, this is what Paco does, what Simp does. Like, I understand why he does it. I'm gonna start stealing that. It's a good idea. Like
Mm-hmm.
shit like that's a good idea. But mainly another big one is I've been doing a lot of homework on the teams I'm gonna end up playing. Uh, I've never usually done that as much. I usually
Mm-hmm.
just say like if I do my thing right, it doesn't matter what they do. But at the same time, if I know what they're doing, I know exactly what to do in the same scenario. Like I study this, nothing surprises me. So
Yeah.
like I think that's helped me a lot more this stage already so far with the consistency, because like I'm never confused. I always know what's going on. I always know the play I want to make to counter them, which helps a lot. But other than that, I've been also going to like the gym, help my mental health. What else? I don't know, just shit like that. Like make sure my mental health is on point. Reading books, like just
Yeah.
shit like that. Just keep my shit strong. You know what I mean?
Are there times where you would say, like, if you lack, say, at the gym, or like you said, you read sometimes, like, that if you miss a certain amount of reading or whatever it is, that
Mm.
you can kind of feel the difference in how you play, like, day to day?
I'll say for reading, not really. I didn't start reading till this stage. This book, it's like a mental book. It's like about like athletes, like Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just I always liked that stuff. I always read it like in high school. Like it was so cool.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel it for reading. But when I like stop working out for a little bit, I can tell like my energy in scrims isn't low. But right after the scrim, I'm like, thank God, bro. I'm one shot. Like I'm just fighting, bro. Like I just feel like it's a lot more of a hassle. It's mentally draining to me. But whenever I'm working out, like my mental's always on point, always in
Mm-hmm.
the game. Like I'm always fighting. Like nothing really like breaks me as much. Like I never really break. I bend, but I don't break. But like
Okay.
now I'm like nothing affects me. Nothing's personal. Like I just like I don't know. It's just like how I am now.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge so far throughout your career, and how did you overcome it? Or if it's something that, maybe you're in the process of, how do you plan to overcome it?
Okay, well I'd probably say honestly I don't even care about this last stage. I dropped 5. I don't care. I still think I'm the best player in the game. It's just how I think. I really don't care. But I'll probably say the off season honestly because I thought I was still good for my team last year. I know I finished it kind of slow, but
Mm-hmm.
it was all the roster changes. But in the off season, like having like teams come and then leave, then come and then leave, and the LAG thing that happened at the beginning of the year that really pissed me off as well. Like it's like, oh wow, people lost respect for me, dog. Like this is
Yeah.
pissing me off. Like let me bounce the fuck back. Join FaZe Black, brought that dog back out. Like now that was the biggest mental hurdle I had to overcome because I was like, all right, bro, what am I ass now? Like is that what people
Yeah.
think? I'm just ass? Like no, I'm not ass. So I had to bounce back from that. Uh, but yeah, in the offseason was definitely the hardest part. It was just like I was losing confidence in myself at the time. And
Mm-hmm.
the new game dropped, but he's like, nah, I'm about to run shit. Like I had to bounce back, get back in, lock back in, get back in that mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What would you say it was that kind of like got that confidence back? Obviously, you said you kind of just like dove into it, but was there kind of like a moment that you were like, all right, I'm I'm definitely back, and they're gonna be looking at me now.
Mhm. It'd probably be I mean, it's partial with like I'm playing challengers. Like with all due respect, I know there's good people in challengers, but they couldn't kill me. Like I promise you, they couldn't kill me. So like that definitely helped, and then also like I just put like just insane hours into the game. Like I wouldn't stop grinding when BPL came out and I was allowed in. I was grinding that shit. I'm talking at least 5 series a night, 3 to 5 series a night, probably 3 if no one was grinding. I was just putting in straight shifts, going hard. Like, I know I had to earn the spot. It's not gonna be given back to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had to change
Hmm.
people's perspectives. Like, oh, this guy ass now. Like, no, I'm fucking insane. Like, I don't know. I push like mental like whatever people think about me. I just push into my brain. Like, these guys are brain dead. I'm so
Yeah.
much better than them. Like, I keep telling myself that, and it makes me pissed off. Makes me go harder.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're very much like motivated by the hate in a sense that like you hear
Yeah.
that shit and
Yes.
you're like, I'm gonna prove them
Yeah.
wrong.
Yes. Yes and no.
Yes
Because
and
like
no.
I'm a naturally motivated person, but whenever people give me something to be motivated about, it just like clicks. It's just like it's easy. Like all my brain thinks about is just running the world. That's why I love when people talk shit to me. That's why I'm trying to start like talking shit a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
I need some storylines so I know to run your world. Like my brain just clicks. Like you're not gonna kill me now. Like I need that click.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, hey, you got two matches coming up against two different guys who talk a lot of shit. You could
hmm
spew some random shit just to get some stuff going.
I might have to. I might game chat him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just do something to get under the skin a little bit, get you
Mhm.
fired up.
Just gotta have some fun with it, bro. Whenever someone's talking shit to me, I start having fun, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Like now it's competitive finally. Like now people are actually like actually care. It's not just an online match. Like, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's fire.
Mm.
So, that was the last like personal question I had.
Mhm.
The last couple questions I have here, I consider them as kind of like random questions or kind of like fun questions. These are
Yeah.
some questions that I also asked Ghosty when I did the interview with him.
Okay.
I just figured some of these would be obviously answered very differently based on different people. So the first question that I have here is, as a professional Call of Duty player and somebody who's played Call of Duty throughout like many years and has played in different styles of whether it be leagues or tournaments or ladders or whatever, what would you say is your ideal Call of Duty league style with no regard for finances? Because I know finances are a big thing on why certain things can't happen.
What do you mean exactly? Like format as well as like the type of game, or just like format mainly like how the league could be ran, how the tournaments would be.
Yeah,
Like, what do you?
mainly just format. Like
Okay.
what would you like to see from a league format?
I'd probably say like probably pull play. Anything that would make me play more COD on the weekend. Because when I pull up to an event and there's less COD, that shit's like it's not checkout, but like I need to get going throughout the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you only play what one match and then you gotta play another match, like it's slow mo, bro. Like I want to play some
Yeah.
pull play. I want to grind through the event. Like it's a marathon, not a sprint type event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's how I see it personally. So I'd probably say similar to like any events pretty much prior to like CDL. I guess I don't really know how CWL was. I didn't compete at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but I think those are pretty cool. Um, I think the online matches aren't even bad. Like people complain about them, but like yeah, I wouldn't mind 2Ks, but like having these online matches every weekend, people are still going hard. So like it's
Yeah.
fine, but I don't know. At events, I want to pull up and like play so much more COD.
So for you said online you don't feel like it's really that bad.
Mhm.
Do you wish there was maybe like more stakes to it though? Cuz I know like
Yeah.
I watched the video that JCap and Josh did that the Thieves posted today, and JCap mentioned that he even wishes that there were just more like online tournaments or like at
Oh,
least
100%. Nah,
one
that's why I
online
said like
tournament.
I think 2Ks would be insane. If you put a 2K up and like the winner gets insane amount of like CDL points or every win, like every placing gets a certain amount of CDL points, like that would be fire. Like
Mm-hmm.
you throw some AMs in there sometimes, like I know that'd be competitive, bro. Like
Yeah.
even just for fun for a prize claim, like I know people would still play. Just make it like regulated where like the pros have to play. Like no matter what, people are gonna have natural like competitiveness in that tournament.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. I'm very understanding of like it might not happen, but a 2K online, like tournaments online, I think those will still be super fun.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Well, I feel like too, like even outside of like tournaments and stuff, right now, I feel like part of the problem is it seems like from an outsider's perspective, there's not as much like grinding outside of tournaments or matches when it comes to like eights and things like that. I feel like
Yeah.
it's like the one day I was watching you and Gosi during one of the tournaments that you guys were doing, and I think you guys were both talking about how there's really not like a ton of eights, and you guys are just trying to like you're trying to
There's
play,
none,
like you're
bro.
trying to
There is
game,
none,
like
bro. There is zero, bro. The one time we played eights, like HP eights. I think these maps are godlike for HP right now. Like it'd be so much fun to play eights on these small maps, just getting in the mix.
Uh-huh.
Like I think it'd be really fun. But we played what? We had 1 day of eights, which was like a week ago now, and
Mhm.
like I'm pretty sure I technically started it. Like that shit's insane to me, bro. Like why am I starting it, bro? I'm a sophomore. Like yeah,
Yeah,
come
for
on, bro.
real, man.
But nah, like there has to be more shit to play. There has to be more content. There has to be more, bro. And like S&D eights is not content. You're playing with like S&D kids. That's BO3 content. It's not even a tournament. Just like everyone's throwing money up. Everyone's just doing random brain dead strats. But like when you're playing like HP eights, everyone's going hard. Like put some money on the line. I like that. I want some money on the line of my HP eights. I want to try.
Yeah, and I feel like too, if that's something that you guys stream, like if you guys stream the eights all from your own POVs, like now you guys are
Mm,
getting your own kind of like engagement outside of the league,
mm.
and I feel like that would help your guys' personal brands as well. Like,
No, 100%,
so
bro. Eights is like, bro. Remember the beginning of the game, Draws had like 10-hour streams every day playing BPL eights. This shit was absurd. I respect his grind.
he
Like,
was grinding
but I know
nonstop.
he was pulling in straight viewers, straight subs. Like, I had tipped it.
But hopefully that's something that they kind of start to implement down the line. It
Mm-hmm.
seems like hopefully, fingers crossed, they're starting to make some changes when it comes to that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I completely agree. I think pool play would be a really really good addition to have back. Um,
100%, man.
and I think it could lead to more like losers bracket runs. I think it would lead to just like crazier events in general because
Mm.
like you said, right now with the tournaments, you even if you start in winners and you have a bad series, like now it's just like okay, well now we're straight to losers, and we have to kind of like turn around within one match. Whereas like if you play in pool play and you kind of go back and forth, like maybe you start off in winners, maybe you start off
Yeah.
in losers, but
You know what to work on as well, but you already played enough matches where like, okay, I know what like we're doing bad right now. Like if you're steamrolling pool play, you're probably gonna steamroll in the match. You're playing your best
yeah,
COD. But if you have a slow pool play, you know what you know like, all right, we gotta lock it the fuck in. Like
yeah,
right now, it's just we got one winners match. Oh, we gotta lock it in now. If we're not on point today, like shit, we don't even know if we're on point. Like it's just
yeah,
how it
it's
is.
it's rough, man. And
Yeah.
too with the fact that right now some teams just start off in losers bracket. Like, you just start off in losers and you have a bad series, like you get last place.
Yeah,
Like
literally, bro. Like
it's
it's
unfortunate.
it's a fast tournament sometimes, bro. It just happens so quick. Blink of an eye, like holy shit, what just happened? Like.
Yeah. I just feel like that's not ideal for the players and
Mm,
the fans either. Like everybody
mm,
wants to watch COD. So
yeah.
yeah, I completely agree with that. Um Another question I have for you is what is the Call of Duty that you wish you would have competed in or you would have been able to compete in that you didn't get the chance to?
It's a godlike question, bro. I got two answers for you.
Okay.
I got one for like if I was saying strictly just the COD was amazing, the atmosphere was great, I would
Uh-huh.
have loved to play it. I'm probably choosing AW personally because I
AW.
think that's still probably my favorite competitive game. But if I'm thinking off skill, the game was still really good, but it's not my favorite. But it's like probably top three.
Mm-hmm.
I was insane at. The game was lit. Like fucking tournaments were insane. BO4 for sure. Like I was insane at BO4, but I obviously wasn't of age.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that game would have been lit, bro.
Bro,
I would have
BO4
ran that
was
game.
BO4 was so much fun to watch. I
Mhm.
mean, I loved playing it too. That was probably my peak of Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Obviously
no, that game
nowhere
was lit, dude.
nowhere near the skill level, but it was so much fun to play. It was so much fun to watch. I could go on about that, but the other question that I have kind of regarding that is would you want to play Advanced Warfare or Black Ops 4 against the the players that were pros then or against pros currently just on that game?
That's a great question. Um, I think for AW, like if I were to play against the people of that time, like yeah, they could be good, but like that's nowhere near as competitive as now, bro. I'm sorry. Like
You
if we
think?
were to put like if we had like the top teams now, like some of the top players now on that game, like all at the same time, like grind us and start to finish, like you know what I mean? Like we're already pros, like had the same mentality they have now.
Uh-huh.
The game would have been so much more competitive. There would have been a lot more good teams, not just Optic running everything. Like I think there's a balance of both. If you could take the best team from the best two to three teams from that game, which is probably like what Phase and Optic, I'd say. If you were to keep them and get rid of all the other shitters, or majority of the shitters, I don't know who's all shit, who's good. I didn't play. and then you added like the great players from now. I mean, bro, that's a god the game, bro. Like that's so much competition. That'd be so much fun.
True, true. That would be pretty crazy. I
Yeah,
feel like, I mean, I didn't watch like really any competitive COD during Advanced Warfare, so I really can't speak on that. But
yeah.
I know during Black Ops 4 there was a variety of competition. Like
Oh yeah, Black Ops
Op-
4 is insane for If I were to say
Optic
BO4,
was really good.
I'd probably say the same teams. Honestly, I think
Yeah,
the same players then were the same players now, but it was just more fun that game. It was console COD too. Like,
pretty much. Yeah, I mean, the obviously there I think there was a little more like disparity. Like they were more
mm,
widespread because I mean, too, there were 5 players on a team, like
yeah.
which
Now
is
there's
still
that game
crazy
had
to
good
think.
balance for it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves was good. Optic was good. E United was
United,
great.
yeah. Phase,
Uh, Phase, Gen G was
LG,
pretty good for a little bit.
yeah.
LG was good.
Yeah,
Like there was a variety of teams that were solid, man. Like,
yeah.
and I feel like that's one thing that for me I feel like is a little disappointing with like the league now is you have a lot of the quote unquote like superstar level talent is like all
Mm,
on the same team. Whereas like
mm,
during that time, you had I feel like a lot of superstar level talent scattered around and then a lot of other guys that were making their way into superstar like levels if that makes sense.
That's
Um
understandable. Yeah,
and so I just feel like, that's where you get hit with like with this year you have all the top 4 teams and everybody's like, oh, nobody's getting in there. And it's like, well, I don't want to see the same teams in the top 4 all the time. Like I want to
nah,
see
yeah,
some variety. I want to see some teams shoot up and some teams drop down. Like, and that was what was happening back then, I feel like. And part of that could be, going back to like pool play and stuff like that, that there was a
mm,
mix of quote unquote pro teams as well as um, AM teams that were all going to tournaments together and playing against each other and all that kind of stuff. Whereas that doesn't happen anymore. It's just
yeah,
all CDL. Like that's it.
yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. I will say right now, like my perspective on how it is right now with the top four, however it is, I don't like the idea of like not having super teams because at the end of the day, you want the best players from everywhere on your team. Like that's fair.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's just like yeah, like you're saying though, like how the CDL is at the moment is like yeah, it's gonna be hard to like get a spot in the first place. You're not gonna be starting the year in the same league, so you're playing different competition.
Hmm.
Like if like for me, I started in challengers and I switched to play a whole different competition. Like if I were to start like if I were to start in this year, like just in the league with the same team, like I think we're very close to the top four, if not already the top four. That's just how I feel.
I
Like,
mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like the environment of how the league is. It's gonna be like a little hard to actually get into.
yeah.
That's the only weird part.
I think, I guess the best way to put it is because I do understand what you're saying. Like,
Mm,
obviously, you're going to want the best players on your team. And if you're a superstar level talent, you're going to want to play with superstar level talent.
yeah.
But I think, and that's something that I really like about, this Thieves roster is that you guys are like a growing talent, I feel like.
Mm,
And to me, it's a lot cooler to watch a team grow into their talent and like their capabilities than to just see a team get thrown together of like all of these really good players because it's
mm.
like, yeah, they're naturally going to be good, but like we didn't get to see the process of it,
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like,
we're the what youngest team in the CDR right now. Like
which is
all these other
crazy.
teams have at least like what one veteran. Like people that have been doing this for a while know how it's been done. Like they've been playing the same
Yeah.
competition for the same amount of time. Like our team just we're learning every day. We're getting better
Yeah.
for sure. Like I think we could still be insane. We could still win something. I think honestly, that's just how I think though.
I do
Like
too, but you know,
whenever you pull up to like matches, like okay, well like these guys like we're still building every single day. These guys have been built in this area, this era. Like you know what I mean? Like we're getting used to things still, like every now and then, every day. I think now we're obviously everyone's comfortable. I hope like we're like we've been here for a while now, but like it's just this game. Like well, we got 2 to 3 months of like reps together. Like we're
hmm
getting better every single day. Like we're still gonna do the damn thing. It's just you know what I mean? It's a building process more for us than it is other teams.
yeah, absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think the hard part too is like I talked about it a little bit on my live stream earlier, but like you guys are growing and you're getting better. It's just that the hard part of it right now is that like you guys are at the very end of the year and you guys didn't get the full year to
Mm-hmm.
mesh as this current roster, which I think is a really
Mm-hmm.
good roster. So it's like, you know, if you guys have a bad series, like everybody's gonna be up in arms because it's like, oh my god, like whatever, blah blah. And it's like, but like you guys are allowed to have a bad series now and again. Like
Mhm.
everybody does. It's just because of the implications of where we're at in the year that I feel like there's so much more weight to it, and I wish it
Mhm.
wasn't that way because I completely agree with you. I think you guys, if you started the year together and had basically all those growing pains that maybe you did when you guys first meshed together
Mhm.
at the start of the year, I think you're completely right. Like you guys,
Yeah.
I just from the flashes that you guys have had of like your highest moments, I feel like it shows how good you guys really are, and it's just there's not a lot of time to show it, unfortunately, with where we're at in
Mhm.
the year. Like,
Yeah. That's
but
why I am pretty happy though, because like at least we had like this is our second stage together. Like I think we've actually built enough time. It just like it took us a while to get here. I wish we did
mhm.
what we're doing now. Like what major two already. Like we
Yeah,
already the same team. We've been together the whole year. Like we would be fucking settled by now for sure. It's not even be close. We're ready to win the
yeah,
next two events for sure. Like it'd be a lot different. Like it's the whole different ball game at that point. But at the same time, like we all have trust in each other. We all been putting in the work. Like it's not like we have an excuse to not be great. Like it took us a while to get here. It shouldn't have took us this long to get here as well. Like don't get me wrong on that as well. We could have instantly been good if we just like put in the same work, kept stressing the same concepts we've been pushing since we first formed.
yeah.
Uh, just shit like that. I think I don't know. I just think when it comes down to it, if everyone just be the best version of ourselves, we could easily be the best team in the game. Like if everyone's the best version of themselves on the same day, consistently, everyone works on their own gameplay and just combines it together, like we could easily be the best team in the game certain days, for sure.
I mean, shit, I love to hear that. I like that. That sounds good to me, man. I no complaints there. Um, so another one of my random questions here is if you could take mechanics from any Call of Duty, like any of them, and maybe not necessarily just mechanics. Maybe it's like mechanics, maps, modes,
Mhm.
whatever, all that kind of stuff. And you could combine them into one Call of Duty game, and we'll just say maybe like multiplayer specifically or like
Yeah.
competitive. Uh, what games and what aspects would you combine to make your perfect game?
Okay. Since I've already been only a Call of Duty kid, I gotta stick to COD. But probably. Well, let's take Tac Sprint out. I'm not a big Tac Sprint fan. Like
Okay,
I
no
fuck with
tax
Tac
sprint.
Sprint. I just don't like the abuse. I liked Vanguard Tac Sprint. That was a good Tac Sprint.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I probably like take out Tac Sprint personally.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be jetpacks for sure. I don't know if I'd probably choose like AW jetpacks. I feel like wall running and thrusting was like it was cool, but a lot more cheesy.
Okay.
I think AW is a lot more just squaring up, just moving while you're in gunfights. It was sick. Then I'd have to put in like a BO4 slide cancel. That was absurd. That was
BO4
absurdly
slide cancel was
godlike.
crazy.
So you've put like a BO4 slide cancel with the dashes and double jumps and stuff from AW. Probably like the guns from like probably the guns from like not AW, but probably for the guns from BO4 as well, like on that mix. Ooh,
Yeah.
now we're talking,
Three
bro.
gun meta.
We're talking, bro. Like that is nice. I'd say 4v4 still for sure. I don't like that
Yeah,
5v5 stuff in BO4, but nah, that we're talking from there already. Like I like that.
yeah. I like the sound of that one. That
Yeah,
I would play that. I would play the shit out of
I
that. I
would
can't
too.
lie, bro. All right. So this is the last question I have here. Last out of all the questions. Last random question. If you could go pro in any other esport, which one would it be and why?
Hmm. I mean, bro, like as a controller player, probably say like Halo personally, but I know Halo's like a kind of dying. I
Yeah,
think yeah, I just
seems
choose
like it.
that from like generally speaking. But if I were to actually just pick like another esport, I'm trying to play up CS, bro. CS events look
CS,
insane, bro. CS events look godlike. CS like it might be the GO esport, no bullshit. Like
bro. They
it's
have a
got to be CS, bro.
lot of people that go to those events. It's actually
Yeah,
insane.
their events look insane, bro. Like it's got to be CS.
Okay, okay. Have you played a lot of CS at all, or is it
I
just
played a good amount
something?
of CS. I've been a big controller player like my whole life, but like as of what BO3, I played a lot of CS, and then as of late, I played a lot of Val and CS. And
Mhm.
like CS it's a goated game, bro. Like it's so simple, it's just nice. Like it's never changed really.
Yeah, it. I mean, they're on CS2 now, but it's pretty much the
Yeah,
same game, just slight
literally.
physic difference.
Yeah,
But
literally.
yeah,
Physically, like it's it.
yeah, I played a little bit of CS, but it's I don't know. I'm really not good at tac shooters. I've been trying to
Mm.
play more Valorant recently. Still not great at that. Been hard stuck low elo basically since the game came out. So
Yeah, I mean
it's
that game, like I grinded it and I still couldn't hit Immortal. Like I was like, bro, like I'm
bro,
like keyboard and
it's
mouse. I have to put hours into keyboard and mouse, and like my grinding on Valve was like a few ranked games a day, and I'm done. Like I'm burnt out already. Like
bro, it's completely different. Like it's a whole nother
yeah,
beast, man. Like I don't know, controller, and obviously it's probably just because, like you said, I've played controller like all my life. It just makes so much more sense to me.
yeah, exactly.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of tac shooters. I'm just not good at them.
No, 100%. I'm the same
But
way. I mean, I feel like I'm good at tag shooters. It's the only thing I really played growing up. But yeah, I'd probably say those are probably some of the hardest games to like just be consistently good at, bro. You gotta shoot 24/7, just only hit the head. Like you got me fucked up.
yeah, yeah, it is not easy.
Not at all.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. As I said, that was the last question that we had here. I do really appreciate you coming on and chatting with me about all this
Mm,
stuff. I
mm,
personally enjoyed it a ton. I had a lot of fun. It was nice to kind of get to know you on a deeper level.
mm.
So I really appreciate that. Appreciate you being here for that.
Yeah. It's nice talking to you too, brother. I will say one thing. I know I curse a lot, so like if I curse a lot throughout this video, apologies to everyone, you as well. It's just how I like to I talk naturally, so I wasn't trying to control anything. I'm just talking how I talk, you know?
Yeah,
So
no,
just
you're
want to
good.
preface that.
But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks again to Kremp for being here. If you guys enjoyed, I have done another video like this with Ghosty. I will add that as well if you want to go and take a look at that video. And if you enjoyed this one, please hit that like and subscribe button. I'm hoping that I can do this again, maybe with some other players, maybe with Kremp himself. Who knows? We'll
Mhm.
see. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.